Hello there everybody, What Culture's Adam Cleary here, and right, what's the best wrestling game ever made? Now, some of you are going to say, like, one of the SmackDown games. I probably wouldn't argue with you. Some of you are probably going to say, like, WWE 2K20 because you're hilarious, but the correct answer is, of course, No Mercy on the N64. It just was. Yeah, the Aki? It's Aki, isn't it? Not AKI. The Aki produced, THQ published wrestling magnum opus dropped on the N64 in the year 2000, and it still gets played to this day. People keep modding it, people keep updating it. It's possible to do all kinds of stuff on that. It's arguably a better game than WWE plow millions into producing every single year. It's just the best, and still is. And the thing is, through all the mods and all the updates, you can do things that you couldn't do on No Mercy, like, for example, play in a Hell in a Cell match. But here's the thing, right? Why did they never follow up that game? It was such a resounding universal success. The studio got loads of plaudits for it, and yet it was a one-off. They never made, like, another version of it. Why weren't we playing Hell in a Cell matches just 1 year later in some kind of long-awaited update? Well, I'm going to tell you. WWF Backlash was a game that was planned to be produced by Aki, AKI, whatever studios, and it was going to release just 1 year after No Mercy did. And the main selling point, the thing they were going to promote this on, was the Hell in a Cell match. It was going to be the shiny new bell and or whistle that was going to get loads of new fans playing it. But I'm sure you're sitting there right now going, but that didn't happen. I've never heard of this game. I never played a Hell in a Cell match on that kind of engine. In fact, as a Nintendo fan, I had to wait until 2002 to play WrestleMania 8 on the GameCube. So what the hell happened there? Well, that's what this video's about. How exciting. Alright, so the very, very short version of this story is that Aki were instructed to start building a follow-up to No Mercy. They got about 30% of the way through it. That was going to be WWF Backlash. That was going to be the thing with the Hell in a Cell matches in it. But then they got tipped off that Nintendo were working on new hardware, that the GameCube would be releasing very soon, and they should spend their time building assets for that device, not the rapidly aging N64. Yeah, that's because hindsight, much like the worst wrestling game ever released, is 2020. Ba-dum-tsh! So yeah, the game got chucked on the scrap heap, it never got made, and most of you are probably only hearing about it for the first time in this video, which is a shame, right? If it did start to get built, and it's like the best engine they've ever had for a wrestling game. So is there hope that we might see it one day? Well, the people who developed it, now called Sin Sophia, have said they would totally be open to working with WWE again and following up their magnum opus. And are you honestly sitting there right now telling me that if I did a news video on this sofa and went, good news guys, WWE have ended their partnership with 2K and they're bringing back the Aki engine for the next installment of their little wrestling fight and beat 'em up simulators, you wouldn't be like, ha! Good news! And I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Because for all 2K have got this great track record of producing sports simulators, they've just never quite made it click in WWE. And arguably last year's installment was so damaging to the franchise, they probably can't make another one. In fact, early reports are that they aren't going to be making another one. And despite the fact that everybody hates me, I do like to think I know a little bit about PR, and WWE binning off their relationship with 2K and going, do you know what, our fans deserve better, we're going back to a game they always liked, would be a really positive bit of promotion for them, I think. Anyway, back to Backlash for a second. That's why you're here, right? And the only image, the only screen grab, the only teaser, the only clue, the only anything that was ever released about the game was this image, which we don't have because it's that rare and that hard to find, and it's a picture of The Undertaker brawling with Kurt Angle atop Hell of a Cell that appeared in a 2001 issue of Games Pro magazine. Here's a bad artist's interpretation of it. Right, so sorry to cut in here, the audio for the rest of that video completely messed up, so I'm having to re-record it in the future relative to where I recorded the original one, but also in the past relative to where you're watching this video, but I'm going to get myself confused, so let's just move on. Anyway, as I was saying, that article has become such a mythicized piece of wrestling lore that a lot of people don't even think it's completely real, or at least the image certainly isn't anyway. Like, the game was so early on in its development stage, so few things have been finished or rubber stamped or even confirmed, that a lot of people just think that's a doctored picture from No Mercy. But either way, the article did say they were going to have loads of shiny new bells and whistles. They were going to have new match types, new superstars, new six-man tag matches. They were going to use that little memory thing that went in the bottom of the N64 controller to make it all run smoother. It was going to be brilliant, but of course, it just never happened. However, that is not the end of this story. Then, no longer needing to make that game, Aki were recruited by none other than EA to begin work on WCW Mayhem 2. That was going to be the follow-up to WCW Mayhem, which was a great game, and of course getting Aki involved would be brilliant, but this was around 2001, and if you are watching this and you're not a particularly big wrestling fan, thinking, oh, I wonder whatever could have gone wrong there, WCW was purchased outright by their competitors, WWF, and rather unsurprisingly, not knowing which roster he was going to keep, what talent was going to make the transition, who he really wanted to help make some money, Vince McMahon did not want them to make another WCW game, so that got binned as well. Except, no, that's actually not what happened. It didn't quite get put in the bin, or it did, but it didn't stay there for very long, because thinking on their feet, both EA and Aki managed to take all the assets they'd built for WCW Mayhem 2, repackage it, rebrand it, give it a new look and everything, and they turned it into Def Jam Vendetta, and by 2003 they released that as this standalone wrestling game, not affiliated with WWF, not affiliated with WCW, but built entirely on the original build for WCW Mayhem 2. That's a true story, that, and I love it. The thing is, the question I've always had about this, right, is if all these deals were off the table, all these games, all these projects lay in ruin, they couldn't work with this company and they couldn't work with that company, but they decided they were going to go, like, take something out of the bin and get all the dust off it and make a brand new game as a result. Why didn't they just, instead of getting the assets from Mayhem 2, go and get the assets from No Mercy? Like, that was their match engine. They could have done whatever they wanted with it. If they were going to build a brand new game with no affiliation to any company, they could have done the follow-up to No Mercy as one of the Def Jam games. Why did they go use the inferior match engine when they had the greatest match engine of all time just sat there? And what, you know what I'm saying, I wonder why they did this. Of course, I know why they did this. It was the early part of the 2000s and everything had to be new. It had to be new and exciting, and it couldn't just be 3 years old. It had to be pushing the boundaries of gaming, and it had to have a new look and a new feel and a new name and a new meh, and a new meh, and a new meh. Completely ignoring the fact that the best one they'd ever done was like 36 months old. That was too old for them. And I do feel really sorry for Aki in amongst all of this. They had built this amazing wrestling match engine and they had all the rights and all the contacts to go and do the follow-up, but then Vince McMahon, he went and flooded his roster with all this new WCW and ECW talent, so they didn't really know what they were doing there. And then even their publishers, THQ, they were like, no, don't be working on this outdated bit of hardware. We've got the Nintendo GameCube now. That's going to be everyone's favourite console forever, and we can market it as something that's new and good, and it's going to look good, and it's going to sound good, and it is good, rather than something that just played good, which is slightly more important. But here's the kicker with all of this, right? That game came out nearly 20 years ago, and yet the appetite to play it is still demonstrably as strong as it has ever been. Like, yes, it's not new, yes, it's not exciting, yes, it's not the hot new wrestling game in town, but it's still one of the best ever made. And so many fans have so much nostalgia for this match engine at a time when nostalgia equals dollar. And then of course there is the issue of All Elite Wrestling. We know that this hot new promotion, they are in the market for making a video game, and their entire business model seems to be looking at all the things WWE tell fans they want and then actually giving fans the things they actually want, rather than just trying to control the narrative. They look and see what the narrative is and then produce things accordingly. That's why people seem to like their show, and it's why people would probably really like their video game. Like Kenny Omega, he's one of the men in charge there. We know he is a huge gamer. He has said, is it not time we bring the Aki engine back? And whether they, under their new moniker, their new name, whether they want to reach into the bin, pull out the No Mercy engine, then gives us something that plays a bit like No Mercy, that smells a bit like No Mercy, that feels a bit like No Mercy, that brings us the joy through our eyes and our ears that No Mercy used to. Whether or not they want to do that, I do not know, but I can tell you this: they should. And if they did, wouldn't that just make this whole relentless, never-ending, lifelong bleak trudge towards the grave that little bit more enjoyable? I can hold my hands up straight away and put me down for a pre-order for that right now. If AEW bring out a No Mercy engine game, or if Aki just bring out a generic No Mercy engine game, I will play that. I will pay the sum total of $30 to $40 for that the day it is released. So there you go, there's one sale immediately. But let me know if you would do the same in the comments below. Of course, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In the meantime, yes, I realise I'm dressed. If you skipped like the middle part of the video and you're wondering why I'm dressed differently and how my face has changed and why there's like pizza boxes back there all of a sudden, time has passed, and owing to technical difficulties, there was a thing. Anyway, we'll just move on. I've been Adam Cleary. This has been What Culture Wrestling or What Culture Gaming. Not sure what channel it's going up on, but I hope you have a lovely day all the same. And here's hoping we get a No Mercy wrestling game in our lives sometime soon. Goodbye.